Well, listen to what I've done now, and you tell me. I am such a pleaser, and yesterday we sort of got into my feelings a little on how I behave. So, and I knew this would come back up. I knew this would come back up to bite me. When I was laying on the beach a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I just was looking out at the ocean. I had a moment of zen and calmness, and I said, I'm not playing fantasy football this year. I said it to myself. I said, I'm not doing it. So I texted all 5 leagues at once, everybody in all 5 leagues. And I said, guys, we're 2 months in advance of the fantasy football season. I'm just not going to play this year. I'm not going to do it. Okay. I said, I might stay in one league. The rest of them, I'm out. Okay. Put the phone away because I knew people would be buzzing me like, what? Wait, get back in. All this. An hour and a half later, I pick up the phone. Indeed, there are many saying, what? You got to get back in, this and that. One of my oldest, dearest friends said, can you please stay in the league in which you are a commissioner?
Well, that's right, the trilaterals.
The trilateral. There are 3 commissioners in this league.
In what, an 8-person league?
12. There are 3.
Is that too many commissioners?
Maybe, but we run it like, is the Politburo run that way? I mean, if there's ever if there's a disagreement, it's best of 3. You know, There's 3 votes. We're like the Supreme Court of it, and it's happened before. Biggie was involved in a very controversial decision once when he was in the league. He left it many years ago. And so he said, can you please stay in the league where you're the commissioner? And I said, I can, but I can't do this year's podcaps. You recall the podcaps?
That's right.
This is where we would come in.
God, for hours.
Yes. He would come here and we would do a 30-minute to an hour long, call it a podcast. And then we would, by computer, send it out to the other 9 members of the league. So
where they would delete.
Yes. Yes. So 12 people at most would hear this, and it's an hour a week. I have to come back, do the work. Okay. I said, yeah, I'll stay in the league, but I don't want to. I said, first of all, the company doesn't let me use the equipment anymore. All right. And that's true. They told us that in a meeting. You weren't in it. They said, hey, stop using the equipment for
outside
podcasts. I mean, Biggie's familiar with this too. You can't use it.
Yeah, which you were like, thank you.
I really thought that was a dodge.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't a dodge. I mean, I guess I could use it as a dodge, but anyhow. So I said, the company is cracking down. I really can't use the equipment anymore, and I don't have the time. He said, okay, I'll figure something out. Come back into the league. I said, okay, done. I'm in the league. We do the draft this past weekend. And I got the number 1 pick. I rolled the 1,000-sided die, and I got the number 1 overall pick. I got Christian McCaffrey, and I got Patrick Mahomes. So I'm enjoying. I'm like, this is a good team.
We have the same quarterback.
Love it. So I'm happy about it. I'm happy I'm in the league. Then Sunday night, somebody in the league texts everyone and says, how about a draft recap podcast?
Well, they're talking right to you.
Yeah.
And your partner.
Yeah, exactly. So my partner, who I adore, we're best friends. He texts the whole group and says, oh, let me talk to the other commish about this, maybe. And I was like, wait a minute now. I've already said. So last night, he texted me and said, hey, do you want to do this draft podcast? You got any time this week, to do it? As if we hadn't spoken when I was on the beach and having my moment of zen. So I texted him back and said, look, I love the league, but...
You drew a line?
I drew a line, which I almost never do. I almost never do it. I said, look, I love this league, but I'm just out of the podcast business because I don't have the time. I just don't have the time.
I think if this was the Gunsmoke era, you might get smacked for using the word podcast. More than once.
You're right.
But it's not, so you won't.
Okay, you're right. Okay, fair enough.
We can't hit anymore.
Right.
No, we can't.
There's another thing. You can't hit anybody anymore, So I haven't heard from him since. He ghosted me after that, and I was like, oh, no. So now I'm really worried that I've upset him and upset the league, but I don't have the time,
Well, now, I mean, look, I don't want to be the one to draw you back into something you don't want to do, but there are a million ways to do podcast.
It's not about the way to do a podcast.
Yeah, it's the time.
It's about the time.
the time.
And I told him that. I was like, he goes, I know you can't use the equipment. Can we get together and do it on a phone? And I said, I just don't have the time. I just told him I don't have the time this year.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
how will you feel
Mm-hmm.
if, a week goes by, you don't hear anything,
Mm-hmm.
but suddenly in your inbox, here comes a podcast
From the others, from him.
him and another person.
I thought about
Will that
that.
sting some? Or will you listen? Well, I know you'll listen because you love to listen and judge.
Mm-hmm.
But will that sting a little?
No, I don't think so. I don't. Here's the reason. Only like 6 other people listen to it.
Yeah.
It's not like
You've got a thriving podcast on the side now.
exactly. That's why I told him I'm doing another a real thing where I come back here with BB Shea. It's an afternoon a week. I can't, I just can't do it. But I thought he'd write back and say, "Oh yeah, I forgot. Understand." He didn't, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, now he's angry." Plus, I forgot.
Who's going to make the next move?
I don't know. I guess I will. I forgot his birthday. His birthday was Saturday, and I didn't text him. And I'm like, "Oh no!" And I forgot his birthday.
Is this? Can I ask?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the friend you will be traveling with?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
got to do something before then.
Yeah, we're going to
going to sleepaway
sleepaway camp. We're going to sleepaway camp at Friday the 13th Village.
Crystal Lake.
We're going to Camp Crystal Lake. And I've got a beach trip with him and his wife and some other couples even before that. I've created a prickly situation here, And part of me is like, I'll just do it, and we'll sneak in the building. But I can't do it.
No.
It's too much. It's too much time.
Because you get caught here.
I get caught here.
Door kicks open. What's going on? I'm just showing a friend the studio.
I know.
Well, this looks like a podcast.
You're not in here podcapping, are you? No. I would never use companies.
Station equipment
or time.
for the podcast. This is my equipment. I'm not
He's
allowed.
just a friend, and I am showing him how things work. Maybe we will have sex.
What? They've seen him in here a dozen times doing the
Yeah.
podcast. I wish he, I just never. I like to please everyone.
You do.
And that is. But this year, I just don't have the time. It would be another day of the week where I'd be staying longer. And I don't know. I just can't do it. I just can't.
Hold
do it.
tight.
I have to hold my line. I have to hold the line. But he will say to me, "Come on," and I'll be like, maybe." That's how it is.
Well, I know you two. You like. It's just the time part because you like talking.
I do. I
Football,
like
and you like
talking.
talking.
Yeah, you're right.
fantasy football.
Yeah.
But it's just
It's a time.
it's the time thing because your schedule won't line up.
I know.
He'll say I can't get here till later on in the afternoon, so then you have to kill some time, and you'll just be miserable.
I'm just tight on time in the afternoon. All right, that's all. It's just me. I'm just inside my head now for a second. The video that we got yesterday, actually, I found early this morning from Uber P1 John, is incredible. It was a race that I had challenged Chris Demm to, like a 100-yard dash, 14 years ago. And Dave Aiken was in here, and Biggie was on the streets, and I came out of the blocks strong.
You did.
Now, when you see the video, and I think you have to be like an Uber P1, like behind the paywall subscriber to even see it. And Uber P1 John is. And when you see the video, I am unbelievably heavy and doughy. And Chris Demm looks great. But I'm out of the blocks well. And then he passes me and beats me. And Biggie talks to him when it's over. And they both sound so young and full of life.
God, I can't imagine what I sound like.
Both of you do. And Chris Demm says that he ran in front of the radio studio, and then he went so far, he just felt so good, he kept on going.
He went across the street.
He did, to the adjacent neighborhood. And you make a reference to that. There's a van apparently parked down there. This is the aftermath of that race.
How do you feel, sir?
Elated.
Elated, victorious?
Yeah, he came out of the blocks good. It was even for probably the first 20 yards or so. And then I think he grabbed a calf or a hammy, I couldn't tell which. But that felt good. The problem is I ran kind of overshot the ending there. I think there's a dead body in that truck.
There was. Of course, we had a police presence here later that day. I had waved Biggie off.
No, yeah.
I am truly winded.
I said, yeah, that was a 100-yard dash. You are winded. But you look great. You really. I looked. I was like, wow, he looks really good. You know, that was a long time ago.
If I recall correctly, there's like a grassy area near us, and that's where you wandered off to,
Vomited.
and we're limping,
Vomited
around and
right.
vomited.
Oh yeah,
I was walking in circles.
the grassy knoll.
With a lip. It was a shadowy figure. I mean, it looked. If you pause it on me, I look so bad.
Frame by frame.
Frame by frame it. I'm so much heavier. They want to do. I've lost weight since then, and they want to do like a before and after picture here coming up, and a TV commercial even. And I don't know if I can go that far back, but if you can, that's when I was at my absolute heaviest.
Yeah.
Remember that picture you took of me on the beach that time?
I do.
Around that same time. It was around that same time. I mean, just heavy as I can be.
Yeah.
So Uber P1 John sent that in. I really appreciate that effort.
It's unbelievable effort. And, you're forgetting kind of one of my favorite details about the story.
About the race?
Yeah.
What?
What you're wearing.
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing a Denver Broncos shirt that I still wear in today.
Oh,
That's true.
Still in the dresser.
Yeah.
now that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm still wearing it today. And wearing my white socks up the calf, just had a real good look.
No, I like that.
Exactly. I don't let it go. I just will not do that. And so I'm pretty pleased with that. By the way, there's another, this is all about, I guess, a look back just from a couple of weeks ago. A bicycle thief that went into a garage in San Diego, saw a dog in the garage and was caught on video. The cameras were set up, and he cozied up to the dog, was nice to the dog, but still stole a mountain bike.
You're so cool. Come here. Because you're the coolest dog I've ever known. I love you too. Where's your dad? Where's your dad? No, not leave your garage open. Dad! Where are you? I love you too.
Guy had left his garage door open. And
That guy. He sounds like the guy from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
yeah, you said that. Yeah. He was,
Who flattened the tire at the Manson camp.
yeah. Very similar. He took a mountain bike worth over $1,000. And a tipster identified the bike, and he's now been arrested here a month later. They found the bike, and they arrested, and they're getting the bike back to the owner.
You know what I was thinking? I bet that bike got more use by the thief than by the owner.
If someone stole mine, I wouldn't even look for him.
No.
Have you thought about leaving your
I
garage door
really
open?
should leave the garage door open.
I bet that bike is like, please don't take me away from him. I'm finally being used like I should. It's just bikes are expensive, so I
Exactly.
fully believe it's $1,000.
Exactly.
I would dare to say it got ridden more by the criminal, though.